Dengan izin Yang Arif, selamat sejahtera dan selamat pagi. Prosiding pendengaran penerimaan masuk Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya pada hari ini, Jumaat, 8 Julai 2022, dijalankan secara sidang video Zoom di atas persetujuan semua pihak. Hakim yang bersidang pada hari ini adalah Yang Arif Dato Ahmad Kamal bin Muhammad Shahid, Hakim Mahkamah Tinggi, Bahagian Kuasa-Kuasa Khas 1. Seterusnya, Mahkamah ingin mengingatkan semua pihak agar kekal di kedudukan masing-masing dan tidak menutup video walaupun setelah selesai giliran. Diminta kerjasama tuan-puan agar tidak melayari live streaming di YouTube berdekatan tuan-puan di dalam bilik yang sama semasa prosiding berjalan kerana dikhawatiri akan mengganggu sistem rakaman audio. Terima kasih. Dipohon kepada wakil-wakil yang hadir pada hari ini bagi pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor untuk memperkenalkan diri. Silakan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, FC Jivita Raja bagi pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi Yang Arif. Saya Nik Alin Zurina binti Nik Abdul Rashid mewakili Majlis Peguam Malaysia.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Josephine Tiew Yen mewakili Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan menyebut bagi pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor.
Terima kasih. Mahkamah akan memanggil nombor petisyen satu persatu. Apabila nombor petisyen dipanggil, pempetisyen diminta berdiri dan memperkenalkan diri. Kemudian, peguam pengusul atau mover akan membacakan latar belakang pempetisyen sehingga selesai. Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen pertama WA1864001-2021 P1, sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Kilan Iskandar.
Betul, P1 sila berdiri. Okey, perkenal nama.
Yang Arif, dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Kilan Iskandar bin Syamsuddin, petisyen nombor 1 pada hari ini.
Silakan M1.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Fahri Azad bagi pihak Pempetisyen, Kilan Iskandar bin Syamsuddin. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya bagi pihak Peguam Negara, Cik Jivita Raja, bagi pihak Majlis Peguam, Puan Nik Alin Zurina binti Nik Abdul Rashid, dan bagi Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur, Cik Josephine Tiew Yen. Ya Arif, pohon untuk kebenaran untuk berterusan dalam bahasa Inggeris, ya Arif.
Ya, dibenarkan ya, sila teruskan.
I'm obliged, my lord. My lord, first thing I want to assure you, even though although the petitioner looks very young, I can assure you he is above age and above on age of majority, my lord. Now, my lord, the petitioner is the eldest son of 3 sons of Suzlina, Nordin, and Raja Moharis Moha. Now, my lord, the petitioner is an accidental lawyer, my lord. He did not set out to be one. He initially wanted to study computer science for his undergraduate degree out of his love for technology, my lord. His father, however, wise in the ways of the world, advised the petitioner to consider law. Since, as the petitioner himself admits, I was not the best at math. In this way, my lord, the petitioner and many of us here at the bar, we prefer to avoid. Now, despite an initial preference for technology or business, the petitioner in truth possessed a natural inclination to the law and activities related to it, my lord. At Cardiff University from 2014 to 2017, where he did his undergraduate law degree, he enjoyed human rights lectures given by Professor Bernadette Rainey, who held, he says, incredibly riveting seminars. More significantly, my lord, the petitioner was introduced to varsity debating by his very good friend, Mukris Mustafa Kamal, and he went on to participate in 50 over debate competitions in United Kingdom, Paris, Malaysia, and The Hague, making finals in 11 of them during his time in Cardiff University, my lord. His high point was representing Cardiff University at the World University Debating Competition in 2016, and that is the biggest varsity debate competition in the world, my lord. The petitioner said he loved debates because I loved how much it taught me about the world and how to view things in different perspectives. I would often have to argue for motions that I didn't believe in, and that was all part of the sport. In this respect, my lord, as his early university days, the petitioner was already accustomed to the ways of litigation. Our clients are given to us, their case is thrust upon us, and we as lawyers have to argue their case as best as we can, even though we may not always agree with the merits of the case. Now, my lord, after the petitioner graduated from his bachelor's in law, he did the bar professional training course at BPP University in England from 2017 to 2018, my lord. From 2018 to 2019, my lord, the petitioner then completed a master's in international commercial law at Bristol University, my alma mater. And my lord, during his time at Bristol University, the petitioner furthered his passion for human rights by volunteering as a researcher at the Bristol Human Rights Implementation Clinic, producing research on torture prevention measures for the African Commission, and coached a high school debate team while in Bristol. My lord, after his master's, the petitioner returned to Malaysia to work as a legal analyst at Khazanah National, as he is the recipient of a Khazanah scholarship between October 2019 and September 2020. After that, my lord, he did a 2-month stint with Herbert Smith Freehills as a legal analyst before commencing his pupillage with the firm of Messrs. RDS Partnership under the tutelage of his master Rosli Dalan and Dato DP Naban. My lord, Rosli says this of the petitioner: Kalen is a very pleasant and obliging young man who displays enthusiasms in the task given to him. It is difficult not to like him, and I thoroughly agree with that. With sufficient diligence, he can succeed in the areas of law that he has chosen to pursue. In turn, my lord, the petitioner says that both his mentors were fierce teachers and had instilled upon him a sense of pride and ownership of his work, which the petitioner will carry with him for the rest of his career. Now, although the petitioner was offered employment with Messrs. RDS Partnership, my lord, he decided to pursue construction and arbitration with Herbert Smith Freehills, who he has been an associate with since February 2022. My lord, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the petitioner on his employment with them. And although I think employment with Herbert Smith Freehills is an endorsement enough, my lord, that the petitioner is suited for the practice of law, this does not relieve me of my duty to address your lordship about the petitioner's good character. As we know in this day and age, my lord, being able and being ethical are two completely separate matters. Competency or belief is not guarantee of a person's integrity, my lord. In that respect, I am happy to report that the petitioner does possess the necessary good characters to be a fit and proper person to be called to the bar. I will discuss just 3, my lord. First, compassion. The petitioner says a simple act of kindness or compassion can go a long way, and I agree. He challenges his friends and me to remember to be kind as they work, as it can be very easy to forget this value in the trenches of practice. Second, my lord, his diligence. This quality is easily the most obvious and immediate after a brief encounter with the petitioner, because he's a very, very hardworking young man. He is diligent and dedicated to his work. Third, my lord, integrity. I had the pleasure of knowing the petitioner a little when he came to do an internship with me in 2016, just after I opened my firm. If there's one thing I can say that came away with me from my engagement with the petitioner is this: he is somebody that stays faithful to his outlook and values, my Lord. That is an important quality to last in this profession. My Lord, the petitioner would like to thank his mother, Puan Suzlina Nordin, for her unwavering support, love, and strength. He thanks his grandparents for the opportunities that they gave him and their moral guidance. He thanks Jessica Pierce, his life partner, for her unyielding love and constant inspiration. Lastly, my Lord, the petitioner thanks his friends, Ashraf, Mukris, Chloe, Wei An, who were always there to lend a hand, an ear, if not a hand. And finally, everybody at RDS Partnership who has helped him during his pupillage. My Lord, in closing, I would like to end with a quote from Stephen Colbert that the petitioner likes. It says, "You are about to start the greatest improvisation of all, with no script, no idea what's going to happen. Often with people and places you have never seen before, and you are not in control. So say yes, and if you are lucky, you'll find people who will say yes back." My Lord, I submit that the petitioner has the requisite good character to be a fit and proper person to be called to the bar. I submit the petitioner's cause papers are in order, my Lord, as I have not received any notice of objection filed pursuant to Section 16(2) of the Legal Profession Act 76, or any caveat filed pursuant to Section 17, my Lord. So, my Lord, I pray that the petitioner be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor in the High Court of Malaya. I'm obliged.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Kailan Iskandar bin Syamsuddin untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih, Arif. Saya pohon izin untuk Pempetisyen menyarung jubahnya sendiri, Arif.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Arif.
Sama-sama.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Ya, sama-sama.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen kedua WA18414/04/2021 P2, sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Farhana Jan, pempetisyen kedua pada pagi ini, Yang Arif.
Silakan M2.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Hari Harun Kupasami, adik bagi pempetisyen Farhana Jan binti Muhammad Salim Mulahi Jan pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing mewakili Yang Bahagia, Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur yang MOB bagi Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor yang telah pun diperkenalkan awal tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin memohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan hujah saya di dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, sila teruskan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Yeah, Yang Arif, may I introduce the petitioner Farhana Jan. The petitioner was born on 4th November 1997 and is the youngest child of Encik Muhammad Salim Mulahi Jan and Puan Zaira Banu. The petitioner read law at International Islamic University Malaysia, and upon completion her degree, the petitioner commenced her pupillage under the tutelage of her master, Ms. Devika Mohana, at the Law Office of Mohana and Co. Today, the petitioner wishes to take this opportunity to express her utmost gratitude to her parents, Encik Muhammad Salim and Puan Zaira Banu, and her family. She would like to thank her parents for their unwavering support and encouragement, without which she would not have been able to achieve any of the milestones in her life. The petitioner would like to thank her master, Ms. Devika Mohana, who had welcomed the petitioner with open arms, joining her firm, guided her through her pupillage, Mr. Mohana Rangasamy, who is always generous, sharing his 25 years of experience. Dato Gopinath Mohana, who allowed the petitioner to be involved in cases directly to assist him closely. This has allowed the petitioner to experience the great art of advocacy and persuasion to come to life. The opportunities that are given to the petitioner had boosted her knowledge and experience, for which no words of gratitude can be expressed. During the petitioner's pupillage period, she had received help and guidance from many, which she would like to name them. The petitioner would like to thank Ms. Priya Vadani and Mr. Ganesh Rao, who are the petitioner consulting lawyers and friends who had helped and guided her through her pupillage. Her fellow colleagues had always supported her and stand with her in any hurdles are Encik Azizul Helmi, Ms. Nadia, Ms. Ashwini, Ms. Wahini, and Mr. Devaraju. The petitioner expresses unequivocal gratitude to each of them. Her experience at the Law Office of Mohana is a memorable one. The petitioner is also extremely grateful to Hariharan, her mover today, who has kindly agreed to take time out of his schedule to move her call. Yang Arif, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I believe all the petitioner's papers are in order and that my learned friends in the Attorney General's chambers, the Bar Council, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee, mentioning on behalf of Selangor Bar, respectively, have no objections to this motion. I humbly move this Honourable Court to admit and enroll the petitioner, Farhana Jan binti Muhammad Salim Mulahi Jan, as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor tiada bantahan.
Thank you.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Farhanah Jan binti Muhammad Salim Mulahi Jan untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih, Yang. Yang Arif, saya pohon petitioner dibenarkan untuk menjubahkan diri sendiri.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Arif.
Sama-sama.
P2 boleh duduk. Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen ketiga WA 18-870-08-2021 P3, sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Michelle Yong Wen Wei, Pempetisyen ketiga.
Silakan M3.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Alinio mewakili Michelle Yong Wen Wei, Pempetisyen di sini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur, pihak-pihak seperti diperkenalkan awal tadi. Hari ini telah ditetapkan untuk petisyen penerimaan masuk Pempetisyen. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon keizinan untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, dibenarkannya, sila teruskan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Relief, my lord. May I introduce the petitioner, Miss Michelle Yong Wen Wei. My lord, the petitioner was born on 13 September 1990. And Madam Liu Gyok Ling. The petitioner seconds her elder brother, Mr. Brian Yong Wen Ping, making her the youngest child of the family. The petitioner thanks them for showing her with endless love, undivided attention and care, given her freedom to carve the life of her own and believing in her ever since young. My lord, the petitioner was conferred a Bachelor of Law degree in University of Northumbria and completed her certificate in legal practice in 2019. The petitioner commenced her pupillage under the tutelage of my learned friend, Miss Manmade Kaur Anabrawan Kehar Singh from Mrs. Kinton Danzul. My lord, the petitioner would like to express her utmost gratitude and appreciation to her master and also the legal assistant from the firm, Miss Ivy Lu and Miss Stanling Singh, for their perpetual assistance and unwavering encouragement. The petitioner will keep in mind that the key to be a great lawyer is advocacy and be well prepared at all times. My lord, on this momentous day, the petitioner would also like to extend her gratitude to all the partners, colleagues, and staff from Mrs. Kinton Damsu for the assistance and support given throughout her privilege. Special thanks to Miss Sunita, Miss Alice Ling, Miss Jacqueline Ling, Miss Li Ting, and Miss Noor Adil Maria for making her time such a minimum and unforgettable experience while she was reading in chamber, one that she will treasure always. My lord, the petitioner would also like to take this opportunity to thank her best friend, Miss Choi Ping and Miss Steffi Lee, for sharing her joys and sorrow, supporting her through thick and thin, and attending to her in times of trouble. They have indeed made an impact for support which encouraged the petitioner to keep moving forward throughout her privilege. My lord, the petitioner would also like to thank her family for sharing her joy on this momentous occasion, and a special thanks to her late grandfather, Mr. Liu Chiu Ming, and her grandmother, Madam Xia Suki, for their endless care and support. Last but not least, the petitioner would like to thank her mover for taking her time to move her call. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya secara rendah diri berhujah bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan dan telah memenuhi semua syarat-syarat berdasarkan Seksyen 11 ke 16 Akta Profesi Undang-Undang 1976. Selain itu, saya percaya bahawa semua surat cara pempetisyen adalah teratur dan saya percaya tiada pantahan daripada rakan-rakan bijaksana saya. Oleh itu, saya secara rendah diri memohon bahawa Pempetisyen didaftaraikan dan diterima masuk sebagai. Terima kasih, Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Michelle Yong Wen Wei, untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon keizinan Yang Arif untuk membolehkan Pempetisyen mencubakan diri sendiri.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Ya, sama-sama.
Tiga boleh duduk. Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen keempat WA 18-986-09-2021 P4 sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Joanna Chu Persiu, Pempetisyen keempat.
Silakan M4.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Lim Yin Fei hadir bagi pihak Pempetisyen keempat Joanna Chu Persiu pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing mewakili yang berbahagia Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah pun diperkenalkan awal tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin pohon kebenaran mahkamah untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, dibenarkan ya, sila teruskan.
Much obliged, my lord. May it please you, my lord, the petitioner hails from the small oil city of Miri, Sarawak, and is one of 3 children of Mr. Chew Lik Ing and Madam Nancy Goh Kim Ni. I understand, my lord, that the petitioner's father has travelled to KL from Miri today to be with the petitioner, whereas her mother is currently proudly watching this ceremony via YouTube. My lord, in terms of the petitioner's education, she grew up enjoying biology and art subjects up to a Form 6 education. And after a bit of convincing, the petitioner obtained full support from her parents to pursue law. She read law at the University of Leeds and she went on to complete the bar professional training course before being called to the English bar by the Honourable Society of Lincoln's Inn in 2021. The petitioner then had the privilege to undergo her pupillage at Raja Darul Law under the tutelage of my learned friend Miss Charlene Adrian Chin. My lord, on this important day, the petitioner wishes to express her gratitude to a number of important people. Firstly, the petitioner would like to take the opportunity to express her utmost gratitude, appreciation, and love for her dearest family. Aside from her siblings, she would like to thank her father, Mr. Chew Lik Ing, and her mother, Madam Nancy Goh Kim Ni, for their unconditional and unwavering support, encouragement, love, and sacrifice. Without them, the petitioner says that she would not have been able to achieve any of her milestones in her life. Secondly, the petitioner would also like to thank her KL-based doting uncle and aunt, Mr. Stephen Chew Lik Seng and Madam Jane Chew Jang Jin. Since the petitioner left Miri and decided to commence her pupillage in KL last August, whilst her parents still showed unrelenting support from afar, she never felt any homely vacuum due to the constant advice, company, and generosity her uncle and auntie has shown her. So without her family members' never-ending care and support, she would not be where she is today. The petitioner would also like to thank her close-knitted friends, Ho Ying Xian, La Yong Zi, Jonathan Lee Zing Sheng, Boon Wen Tao, and especially David McGee. She thanks them for colouring her social life. The petitioner would like to further express her gratitude to her pupil master, Ms. Charlene Adrian Chin, for her constant support and untiring guidance throughout her pupillage. It is the petitioner's words, my lord, that Ms. Charlene Chin is one of her role models, and the petitioner is grateful to be exposed to the medical legal field in which the petitioner is absolutely drawn to and would be the field that she will be continuing to focus on moving forward. It is the petitioner's pleasure to have undergone her tutelage under Ms. Charlene Chin, and she will try her best to emulate Ms. Chin in her practice of medical legal litigation. The petitioner also wishes to convey a huge thank you to all of her pupil mates in Raja Darul Law for the constant support and fond memories during her pupillage. She promises to remember how each and every one of their kindness have helped her through difficult times whilst learning the ropes of the profession together. Last but not least, my lord, I now wish to speak very briefly of the petitioner's good character. In making the case that the petitioner is a fit and proper person, I've spoken to a pupil master on her character. The petitioner is conscientious, she's open to feedback, she's tenacious, and importantly, she's one of candor. Since candor and tenacity are required in our profession, I have no doubt that the petitioner possesses the required characteristics to be a fit and proper person to be called today, my lord. As such, my lord, I believe that the petitioner's papers are in order and that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I also believe my learned friend from the respective bodies have no objection to this petition. Dengan rendah dirinya, saya pohon untuk pempetisyen keempat, Joanna Chiu Kersiu, untuk diterima masuk dan didaftarkan sebagai seorang peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Joanna Chiu Kersiu untuk didaftarkan sebagai peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Saya dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran mahkamah ini supaya pempetisyen Joanna Chiu Kersiu untuk menyarung jubah sendiri.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Ya, sama-sama. Sama-sama.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen kelima WA18-1072-09-2021. P5, sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Andrew Wong Chun Kiat, pempetisyen kelima.
Silakan M5.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Ebenezer Ramesh Jayaraj mengusul bagi pihak pempetisyen Andrew Wong Chun Kiat pagi ini, Yang Arif. Rakan-rakan saya daripada badan-badan yang berkenaan telah pun diperkenalkan sebelum ini. Yang Arif, saya minta izin untuk teruskan dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, sila teruskan.
Yang Arif, your petitioner is the eldest child of Mr. Wong Tak Seng and Madam Ho Yun Mei. He is one of the 4 siblings, all of whom I'm informed by the petitioner would be watching the current proceedings with curiosity and excitement in equal measure. Your petitioner studied law in Brickfields Asia College and by God's grace was fortunate to have the opportunity to continue his last year of studies overseas at Queen's University, Belfast. He graduated in the year 2019 with a Bachelor of Law Honours degree and then returned home to Malaysia to enroll for his Certificate of Legal Practice qualifying examination. In the words of the petitioner, it was a difficult exam to say the least and was made harder due to the dangers of COVID-19 pandemic and the various limitations that followed. Bearing this in mind, the petitioner was very grateful to have passed the CRP examination successfully in the year 2021. The petitioner initially started as an intern at Messrs. Vigneraj, R.D. Rednam, Rajesh Kumar and Associates and was subsequently accepted as a pupil in the chambers at the firm by his master, Mr. Vigneraj Jayaraj, and underwent the required 9 months period of pupillage. Petitioner would like to firstly thank his parents for their quiet support and sound advice, especially during the times when he experienced feelings of indecision and self-doubt. For without his parents to teach and demonstrate what ought to and not ought to be done, the petitioner would not act or think as he does today. Indeed, I believe your petitioner is a person he is today, God-fearing and principled because of his parents. As was said by Brad Metzler, the novelist, no matter how far we come, our parents are always in us. Further, the petitioner expresses his great appreciation for his younger siblings. As it is said in the Malay proverbs, bagaikan aur dengan tebing dan air di cencang takkan pisah. His siblings, though may engage in heated verbal sparring with the petitioner, nevertheless always offer empathy and understanding in times of difficulties and stress, as well as sharing encouragement and joy at the petitioner's achievements, be it big or small. They provide a constant source of kind words and sketching comments, both of which the petitioner is grateful for. The petitioner would most certainly like to offer his heartfelt gratitude to his pupil master, Mr. Vignaraj Jayaraj, for his patience in guiding and instructing the petitioner during his period of pupillage, not only regarding the legal aspect, but also the importance of integrity, honesty, and ethical conduct, especially when it comes to being an advocate and solicitor. The petitioner is also acutely aware of the time and effort spent on him despite his master's busy schedule, and understands that any criticism or comments aimed at the petitioner was always done with the intention to encourage further improvements. Additionally, the petitioner would like to also express his gratitude to the partners of the firm, who, despite the petitioner's inexperience, still spent time to guide and instruct the petitioner, providing him with the exposure he otherwise would not have. At this stage, the petitioner also wishes to thank everyone in the firm for their assistance and advice, as well as allowing the petitioner to experience a conducive work environment, which the petitioner found to be vital not only for his learning and work efficiency, but also for nurturing a passion for legal practice and maintaining his mental and physical health. The petitioner also extends his gratitude to his friends, both old and new, who by their presence and kindness have enriched the petitioner's experience, as well as the numerous persons who have offered aid and advice throughout the petitioner's privilege. As for me, I was introduced to the petitioner some 9 months ago. When the petitioner commenced his pupillage with Mr. Vignaraj, I was indeed surprised to hear recently that the petitioner had completed 9 months of pupillage. Time has gone by so quickly. Geoffrey Chaucer, one of the first English poets, is credited with saying, "Time and tide waits for no man." If one doesn't make use of favorable opportunity, one may never get the same chance again. I am informed by the petitioner's pupil master, the petitioner had used his time during his pupillage favorably to learn the fundamentals of legal practice. I am further informed that the petitioner was diligent and hardworking in executing the task assigned to him. The petitioner was ever willing and ready to learn. He was ever obliging to the request of any of the partners in the firm to do work and did not shy away from working together with other members of the firm or to lend a helping hand. Lastly, I asked the petitioner's pupil master what was his view of the petitioner's character. Without hesitation, his pupil master answered in one word: integrity. During the pupillage, the pupil master found that the petitioner at every task and at every question had shown honesty in his word and conduct with a strong propensity for good morals. Indeed, the petitioner's words and conduct during his pupillage clearly reflect that the petitioner holds honesty as his highest ethic, value, and principle in his life. Integrity ought to be the value very central to the character of one who aspires to be a member of this honorable profession. As Ronald Miles Dawkins, the American philosopher, jurist, and constitutional law scholar said, moral principle is the foundation of law, and integrity is the key to understanding legal practice. Indeed, it is said, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is looking. With that, Young Arif, I believe your petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honorable court. I believe all the petitioner's papers are in order and there are no objections by my learned friend from the AG's department, the Bar Council or the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee. As such, saya dengan rendah diri memohon Pempetisyen Andrew Wong Chun Kit diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai seorang peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Kuala.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Andrew Wong Chun Kit untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya pemohon pempetisyen dibenarkan menyarung jubah.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Ya, sama-sama.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen ke-6 WA181111009/2021 P6, sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Sim Ziying, pempetisyen ke-6 pada hari ini.
Silakan M6.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Tan Shandong hadir bagi pihak Pempetisyen Sim Ziying pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur yang telah pun diperkenalkan awal tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin memohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan hujahkan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, dibenarkan. Sila teruskan.
I'm obliged, Your Honor. With my Lord's leave, your petitioner Sim Ziying is one half of twin sisters born to Mr. Sim Chong-Hin and Mrs. Lim Siu Kwan in Seremban. The petitioner grew up in the small, lovely town of Sungai Pelik, Sepang. She had her early education in SJKC Semin and did secondary school at SMK Sungai Pelik. She eventually pursued her tertiary education at St. Paul's Institution before faithfully finding herself reading law at the University Kebangsaan Malaysia. The petitioner distinguished herself there. She actively participated in the ASEAN Volunteer Program and was awarded Icon Volunteerism UK 2020. And she also found time to graduate with first-class honours. The petitioner eventually commenced pupillage in the chambers of Messrs. Joel and May under the tutelage of my good friend and learned brother, Mr. Brian Teo Wising. I am told by your petitioner, Yang Arif, that Mr. Teo is a patient mentor, always generous with advice, and is incessant in his meticulousness in drafting. I'm also told, and this I have first-hand knowledge of, that Mr. Teo is also as charismatic and advocate as he is persuasive. The petitioner would like to express a heartfelt gratitude to her pupil master, Mr. Teo, for the opportunities and, more importantly, Yang Arif, for guiding her throughout these 9 months. On this momentous day, your petitioner would also wish to take a few minutes to express her gratitude to a few other individuals whose love and support got her this far. For their unconditional love, support, and sacrifices, Yang Arif, the petitioner wishes to express her love and gratitude to her dear parents, Mr. Sim Chong-Hin and Madam Lim Siu Kwan, to her elder brother and sister-in-law, Mr. Sim Jen Feng and Miss Vanessa Hall, as well as to her twin sister, Miss Sim Zi Sing. Special thanks appear to also be in order for her cute nephew, Master Sim Zerui, for bringing your petitioner lots of joy and happiness most of the time. Your petitioner is convinced that she is able to celebrate this day only because of the unceasing and unwavering support of her family. Your petitioner would also like to thank her friends, Royston Tan Chun Tat, Tan Shu Min, and her fellow secondary and university peers for always being there for her to make tough times more bearable. Special thanks are also reserved for Mochi, her pet cat, who accompanied the petitioner through the ups and downs of pupillage. Last but most certainly not least, the petitioner would like to thank the partners of the firm, Joel, Kamei, Ms. Chiu, Gopi, Mr. Lau, and Min for their guidance and the opportunities afforded her. The petitioner also thanks her colleagues Carmen, Ayu, Tira, Susing, Jessie, and Ida, as well as her ex-colleagues Shazwan and Alvi, for making your petitioner's experience at the firm a most memorable one. Young Arif, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honorable court. I believe that all of the petition's papers are in order and that my learned friends from the Attorney General Chambers, the Bar Council, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objections to this motion.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon Mahkamah yang mulia ini supaya Pempetisyen Sim Zi Ying diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai seorang Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Sim Zi Ying untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya juga dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran Mahkamah untuk Pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Ya, sama-sama.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen ke-7 WA18-1152-09-2021 P7, sila perkenalkan diri dahulu.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Abigail Tan Yiling, Pempetisyen ke-7 pada pagi ini.
Silakan M7.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Constance Loh Yit Chen, Peguam Pengusul yang mewakili Pempetisyen ke-7 bersama dengan rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing mewakili badan-badan berkenaan telah pun diperkenalkan tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan ucapan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, sila teruskan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. My Lord, may I introduce the petitioner, Abigail Tan Yiling. The petitioner was born on the 27th of October 1997 in Johor Bahru and is the youngest child to Mr. Tan Ming Pu and Madam Chiam Wah Lien. I understand the petitioner's mother has travelled to Kuala Lumpur specially to be with the petitioner today, and her father, Mr. Tan Ming Pu, who is abroad and who is also her inspiration for becoming a lawyer, is proudly following the proceedings today via YouTube. Since young, the petitioner, inspired by her parents, had always wanted to either be a lawyer or a teacher. In time, she realized that her temperament was far more suitable to be a lawyer. And with that, the petitioner enrolled herself in Multimedia University, Malacca campus in 2017. Not wanting to limit herself to the campus law crowd, the petitioner actively participated in the archery club and the Christian Fellowship. After 4 years, the petitioner graduated with second-class honours in 2021. She had at that time the unique experience of completing her final year of law school virtually. And upon her graduation and during a very unstable time in Malaysia, the petitioner commenced pupillage in Mrs. Wong and Wong under the tutelage of my longtime friend, Mr. Wong Chun Kiet. The petitioner is ever grateful to him for the opportunity that has been given to her and the experiences that she has gained. And today, the petitioner has a number of people to whom she wishes to express her thanks and gratitude. First, to her beloved parents, who have continuously loved and supported her. To her siblings, Olivia, Benedict, and Dominic, who have always taken care of her. Secondly, to Mr. Wong Chong-Wah, Ms. Chan Pei-man, and Ms. Goh Li-ding for their kind and patient guidance. To Madam Chan Mei-wah, Madam Rosia Nida, and Mr. Lektimanan for their warm acceptance and welcome. To her uncles, aunts, and cousins, though they do not meet often, for their encouragement. The petitioner wishes to specifically thank Mr. Lim Piang-hong and Madam Wong Siew-yun for giving her various forms of support during her 9-month pupillage. To her friends who have been by her side during both good and tough times. The petitioner wishes to also express her utmost thanks and gratitude to everyone who have helped her, especially during her pupillage, for they have made her every day that much better. To her mover for agreeing to take time out of her busy schedule to move the petitioner's call. And to this, I would add, my lord, that it is my honor having known the petitioner's parents and pupil master for many years. And lastly, the petitioner wishes to give thanks to God for guiding her way through the past years and the years to come. Throughout her life, the petitioner is thankful for the many blessings that have come her way, and she strives to pay it forward whenever she can. My lord, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honorable court. I believe all the petitioner's papers are in order, and that my learned friends from the Attorney General's Chambers, the Bar and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objections to this motion. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon kepada Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini untuk Pempetisyen ke-7 Abigail Tan Yiling diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai seorang Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara tiada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Abigail Tan Yiling untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan ini, saya memohon kebenaran mahkamah ini untuk Pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Ya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Ya, sama-sama.
Terima kasih kepada kesemua wakil jabatan dan peguam pengusul. Tahniah diucapkan kepada semua pempetisyen yang telah didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Diminta sekali lagi diingatkan agar tuan-puan kekal di kedudukan masing-masing dan tidak menutup video walaupun setelah selesai ucapan dari Yang Arif Hakim. Terima kasih. Seterusnya ucapan dari Yang Arif Hakim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan selamat pagi. Pertamanya, Mahkamah ingin merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada semua pihak daripada wakil-wakil yang berbahagia, Tan Sri Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor, serta semua peguam pengusul yang sudi hadir di perbicaraan pada pagi ini. Saya juga ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada semua ibu bapa, keluarga, rakan-rakan para pempetisyen dan semua pihak yang sudi meluangkan masa untuk hadir secara maya bagi menyaksikan perbicaraan kita yang disiarkan secara langsung melalui sidang video. Tidak lupa juga saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk merakamkan ucapan terima kasih dan syabas kepada semua tenaga pengajar, masters dan firma-firma Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara yang telah membimbing dan mendidik Pempetisyen sehingga menjadi peguam pada pagi ini. Kelen Eskandar bin Syamsuddin, Farhanah Jan binti Muhammad Salim Mulahi Jan, Michelle Yong Wen Wei, Joanna Chiu Ke Siu, Andrew Wong Chun Kit, Sim Ziying dan Abigail Tan Yiling. Di kesempatan ini, saya ingin merakamkan ucapan syabas dan tahniah kepada anda semua kerana baru sebentar tadi telah diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. This morning, I have had the pleasure of hearing 7 petitions for admission to the Malaysian Bar. Your petitions have been granted. You are now members of the legal fraternity in the High Court of Malaya. You are entitled to practice as full-fledged members of the legal profession in this country. On occasions such as these, tradition dictates that I should give some advice on legal practice. In the past, I had on a few occasions drawn attention to the advice given by Lord Denning to young lawyers a few years ago. I propose to do the same on this occasion. Let me therefore hearken to what Lord Denning said. He said this, quote, "As an advocate, he is a minister for justice, equally with the judge. He has a monopoly of audience in the courts. No one safe he can address the judge. A barrister cannot pick and choose his clients. He is bound to accept a brief for any man who comes before the courts. No matter how great a rascal the man may be, no matter how undeserving or unpopular his cause, the barrister must defend him to the end. He must accept the brief and do all he honorably can on behalf of his client. I say all he honorably can because his duty is not only to his client, he has a duty to the court which is paramount. It is a mistake to suppose that he is the mouthpiece of his client to say what he wants or be his tool to do what he directs. He is none of these things. He owes an allegiance to a higher cause. It is the cause of justice and truth. He must not consciously misstate the facts. He must not knowingly conceal the truth. He must not unjustly make a charge of fraud that is without evidence to support. He must produce all relevant authorities, even those that are against him. He must see that his client discloses, if ordered, the relevant documents, even those that are fatal to his case. He must disregard the most specific instructions of his client if they conflict with his duty to the court. The code which requires a barrister to do all this is not a code of law. It is a code of honor, unquote. Those words of advice have, I think, attained the status of immutability. They are as relevant today as they were in 1966. Although Lord Denning might have been speaking about barristers, they apply equally to lawyers who practice in the courts of this country. As you move into the next chapter of your career, you are well advised to hit them. In the past, I had also on occasions mentioned some of the drawbacks in legal practice. It is obvious that the practice of law presents a formidable challenge in your career. There will be frustrations as you come to grips with the realities of litigation work. You'll come across difficult clients. You'll be faced with temperamental judges. You will suffer the agony of being reprimanded in court. You'll be lammed up with voluminous bundles of paper and research materials. You will have to spend long hours of work, possibly sleepless nights on occasions. There will be other seemingly insurmountable obstacles. All these are but part and parcel of the profession. Given time and experience, you will learn to take them in your stride. And when you do, you can take pride in looking back with great satisfaction for having the self-discipline, devotion, and diligence in seeing through those difficult and turbulent times. Great success can only be achieved through toil and sweat. On that note, let me conclude by congratulating all of you on your admission to the Malaysian Bar and wish you every success in your chosen career. It is a pleasure to welcome you on board, and I look forward to seeing you in court someday. May I also take this opportunity of congratulating your parents or guardians who must surely be extremely proud and happy with your accomplishments. With the hashtag of stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, kita jaga kita, lindung diri, lindung semua. Mahkamah dengan ini ditangguhkan. Sekian, terima kasih.